I warned them.
If there is anyone out there, please help us.
I warned them until my voice broke, until my lungs felt raw and hollow, until every word I spoke was just another wave bouncing off walls no one wanted to hear. I said it plain, I said it in songs, I said it in council, in the streets, in the quiet places where whisper might slip past pride. I said, we gon' gonna die if this continues. They laughed at first, in some horror story where the dumbest thing that comes to mind is starker than the truth. Then they grew annoyed, then they stopped listening altogether, as if they'd heard me the first time and dismissed me. It was never they didn't understand. They understood just enough to fear, just enough to twist my words into accusations, just enough to use the science as a weapon rather than a shield. Technology had outrun us. Harmonics were powerful, yes, a miracle. We learned to tune stone and light with resonance, to carry voices across a city with a whisper, to heal fractures, to build towers that could hold the sky itself in balance. But we had not even begun to grow into it. Power without wisdom is just another word for suicide. Without patience, without direction, without care, there is no survival. Is responsibility boring? Patience doesn't win speeches. Wisdom doesn't fill squares with cheering crowds. Fear does, pride does, anger does. And so fear and pride became the louder notes, and my warnings became redundant, drowned in static, lost to witty punchlines that made me question why I even cared in the first place. Our leaders said they heard me, of course. They went as far as nodding and thanking me, but they only wanted reassurance, not truth. They wanted to believe they could hold the blade by the edge and never bleed. They wanted to believe the towers would always hum for them and never against them. They wanted songs of victory, not sermons of restraint. And so the councils became stages. The diplomats spoke in rhythms that swelled the crowd. Their words weren't arguments, they were performances that struck notes of fear and insecurity. We must be strong, they chanted. We must strike first. The people clapped, and the towers clapped with them, their harmony pulsing like applause. The engineers, my brothers and sisters, I begged them most of all, this isn't just design. I said, this isn't discovery, this is corruption. But they were too close to their work, too proud of the way an engine could sing like a violin, too dazzled by the sight of towers bending light into weapons. They had forgotten why they built them, the lives we could have safely lived into the future. Our safety was guaranteed, but the majority could never grasp the idea of ideal, only who controlled it. The generals, they didn't need convincing, they've been waiting for it. They called every wartime test a victory, and every tremor they heard proof of strength. We are not prey, they shouted, we will make them fear us. And the people believe, because fear is easier to control, and doubt is easier than any true understanding of the actual situation. Lessons unlearned, I called it. The road to good intentions. The fire that warms is the fire that burns. The silence that protects is the silence that kills. The path of least resistance is not how we survive. I kept saying it, I kept screaming, stop, stop, before the resonance finds its own path, before it becomes stronger than us. Stop before the city sings itself into a blaze we cannot hold. The louder I spoke, the softer I became. My voice thinned against the roar of a triumph I had. Hands down, already lost.
of children, mothers, fathers, and brothers were confronted with the authoritarian military composed of the same crowd. They would realize in the moment the mistake of following blindly under misguided direction, always unquestioned. Crowds of their own kin stood in the streets demanding mercy, refusing to be caged. And in the last moment, all went unrealized. And that dissent was danger. Every opposing voice became another enemy to be tuned out. I heard it all happen. I heard the turning point. The city shifted from harming into something else, something jagged, something easily expected. The diplomats, once sincere, begged, please. This is unsustainable. We need to act now. We can do this together. But their voices curdled into death threats and accusations. We must be the dominant force. The counter signals grew harsher, more pointed. Engineers were directed to sharpen the frequencies into blades. Generals composed detonations like symphonies. The tower himself shivered with it, pulsing in waves that cut through bone. And still I tried. I could only say it so many times, the way we built it. If you build a song to kill, it will kill you first. As the towers learn to sing the song of weapons and destruction, our own children, our whole kind would pass before our enemies were even recognized. If you don't stop now, this is the end of everything. No one listened, and then the end came. The first tower broke with a scream so high it split glass for kilometers. Windows shattered, street buckled, people fell to their knees, clutching their skulls. Some cheered, they thought it was victory, thought it was the enemy falling, but no, it was us. It was always us. The next tower followed, then another each collapsed, resonate with the last, each note stacking higher until the whole sky became a weapon turned inward. The air itself vibrated into shards. The ground cracked open like strings pulled too tight. I saw glass rivers run down the streets, molten and bright, carrying the last laughter of a people into nothing. I saw families holding each other while their voices were torn into the chorus. I saw children screaming, thin, high notes that rang like bells. And I knew then with finality what I had been trying to stop. And during the end, I could feel the resonance even in my chest as I screamed with the rest. But my scream was not triumph, it was rage, it was grief. It was the knowledge that I had done everything I could to explain it, and it's still fallen through the cracks. Helplessness is the purest form of grief. Knowing full well the truth, to speak it, to live in it, to shout it, to carve it into stone, and to watch it slide off like water, because no one wanted to hear. And then, for the briefest moment, our systems tracked a negative hum from loose orbit. A watcher above resonance, a ship hanging quiet in orbit. His hull brushed our field like a fitted over a string. We heard the chord of him soft and stubborn, a minor note against the architecture of our grid. We turned our spires to face it. We leaned light against his plating so that he could see us not only burning but begging. We tuned our arguments into flares and aimed them outward. Reflections bent toward his lenses. A foreign witness had come, and we made sure he would hear. And I cried out, though my voice was already breaking. You've been watching us the whole time, we see you plainly. And if you can do anything, please, even if you can only save a few, please. This is not how it was supposed to end. I know you can hear me. Please, let the manual override. Point your hull at the grid and feed a steady countertone until the instruments stop dancing like razor wire. When the city sang its last note, the towers crumbled, the sky lit and burned. We saw him hesitate. His reflection lay across our towers when he turned his ship. And my warning spent, my lungs ruined. I fell into silence with the rest. This is what happens when knowledge runs ahead of wisdom. This is what happens when power is given to hands that cannot bear the weight of it. This is what happens when warnings fall through the cracks.